Bonjour et bienvenue, hello and welcome. My name is Kate and I'm a Canadian teacher. I'm the creator of the Madame Mindset YouTube channel that makes brain break videos in French. When I was a teenager, I found a love for working with kids when I worked as a camp counselor at the YMCA. I did that for many years, and one of the years I was even the director of all of the summer camps. I've always been physically active, and I've played a lot of different kinds of sports. I even played hockey at the university level. I find it difficult to sit still, just like many of my little learners do. So it should be no surprise that I have long been an advocate for integrating physical activity into the classroom and also fun and engaging games. I find that students learn best when they're active and having fun. Today, I'm going to show you an example of the September morning meetings 2025. Starting the school day off with morning meetings has helped the morning routine be more engaging and more fun. If you've purchased these on TPT, you can go into your purchases and on the TPT website access your updated slides. Or if you would like to buy a copy, you can click on the link in the description box below and get your copy today. Okay, so the first thing you want to do if you've purchased the September morning meetings on TPT, in your morning meetings, you want to download the morning meetings and you click on that. And once you download the morning meetings, you'll get a PDF that has links to the copy of your morning meetings. Then you scroll down through the bonjour and thank you for support. If you click right here, it'll bring you to this video on YouTube to learn how to use the morning meetings, and you get some file tips. And if you click right here, you will be brought to make a copy of your réunion matinale, and then you click here and make your own copy. And then once you've made your own copy, you can rename the file how you'd like. And here's how I organize the slides. I just have the first page. You can move around any pages that you'd like in any sort of order, which is the best part about it. You can make it yours now because it's your copy. How I have it organized for myself is I have lundi, mardi, mercredi, jeudi, vendredi, and I'll just click to move down to each day. Or if I have already used a week and I want to use new slides, I would like to go down to the bottom. I'll click here and it'll bring me down to the calendrier, and I can go back up to the accueil, or I can go back to the les activités page, which is right here, and it'll bring you right there. And then you can go to the salutation, it'll bring you to the extra salutation, extra activités, and so on and so forth. So we have every page of the week. In my class, we talk about why the days of the week are called the way they are, and that's why they're planets in the first month. So the moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, and Venus. And then if you want to go back to the top, you can click here and it'll go back to the first slide. Here is the message du jour. I don't make a message du jour for you. I strongly believe that should be something that's personally made by you, but I do have the box available here. And on the side here, I also have a spot where you could put special activities or prep times that are happening during your day there. And I usually start with the message du jour, then we'll do the calendrier activity. I know in Ontario anyway, the first day of school starts on Tuesday, but that's something that you'll have to figure out on your own. There are extra calendars down at the bottom, but I did already put the 2025 September calendars right here. Then we have a salutation every day, and this one is quoi de neuf, which means what's new. Students can share cette fin de semaine j'ai, or you could have them walk around and ask 5 friends or something like that, or give them 2 minutes and tell them that they have that much time to talk about what they did this weekend with their friends. What I like to do is I like to do it together with them, so I can kind of teach them like how to do it before they do it on their own with their friends. I most likely wouldn't start the first day of school with quoi de neuf. I would do a different activity. I do add little videos here, so something like a back to school timer, say like 2 minutes. So like you have 2 minutes to ask your friends how their weekend was, and you just play it in the corner while they say hello. And that's how I like to do that. So just play it. Sometimes it has music too, which is great. Then this time I have taken away all of the slides that said Nomme des mots qui commencent avec la lettre A, B, C, D, blah, blah, blah. And I have taken out la lettre, and so I just made one slide so that you can add your own videos, or you can add your own links to whatever it is, or you could just take this away and put a text box and just put a big letter A if that's the one that you want to use. That's up to you. Maybe that's something that you would like to do. And then usually on Mondays, I do a yoga flow or some sort of mindfulness activity with the kids. And something that I like about the Meta Mindset videos is that they are guided for you. So if it's not something that you feel comfortable with doing on your own, you can start by using Meta Mindset videos. There are also some cards that you can get online. For example, the Mindful Games activity cards by Susan Kaiser Greenland. I do have a copy of French ones, but I don't think they're available online anymore, unfortunately. Such things like this. The only issue is if you have to speak French, you'll have to translate it yourself. Or you can use a mindfulness breathing activity from the TPT resource that I have on TPT. There are several mindfulness breathing activities that you could practice with the kids, and that's another idea you could do. Okay, and then we're now on mardi, salutation de chaussures. Everybody's sitting in a circle. They take off one shoe and put it in the middle, and a kid has to go and pick out a shoe and find its owner and say hello to that person. Rester cool. Qu'est-ce que tu aimes faire pour rester frais en été? So we're kind of talking a little bit about summer, especially in Windsor. It's probably still really hot in September, and that way you can talk a little bit about summer. Où est Moustache? Very fun game. There is a link right here to watch the video about how to play. First of all, the kids love playing this game in my classroom, so I've made many versions with math stuff, with numbers, with letters. It's a great game, and the kids love playing it so much. Essentially, you hide Moustache behind a number, and then they have to guess where Moustache is. So they have to say, est-ce que Moustache se cache derrière le numéro 3? And then you move the numéro 3. Nope, he's not there. You know, Moustache is the name of the cat. Okay, Wednesday. Bonjour du petit doigt. They walk around.
Utilise une petite voix pour dire bonjour à tous tes amis. Vous avez 2 minutes. Au revoir. Bonjour Catherine. Bonjour Valérie.
Pensée partage. There are a bunch of new slides that were put in last year with social emotional discussions. Kids love doing these activities, and at the beginning of the year they might be a little quiet, but they do get more into it as you go along, especially if you have a microphone. They tend to, some of the kids who are super duper quiet will love speaking into a microphone. I know I would have been one of those kids. But, and then sometimes we do danse fige in the morning to get our bodies moving before we do a lesson. Drôle de marche. So you ask them to walk around as a crab or as a bunny or to gallop like a horse or whatever. So you get to choose how they do it, or you can do it where you sit in a circle and they get to pick their funny way to walk to say hello to somebody. Nombre, mystère, very popular game, one of my favorites. Kids don't really ever figure it out, which is the best part. You don't pick a nombre mystère in your head before you get going. You tell them that the number is between 0 and 10. 0 et 10, alors le nombre peut être 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 et 9. Est-ce que le nombre peut être 0? Non. Est-ce que le nombre peut être 10? Non. Est-ce que le nombre peut être 11? Non. Can it be anything higher than 10? No. Can it be anything lower than 0? No. And all you do is have them guess as many times as you possibly can until there's only one number left. So if they say, est-ce que c'est 3? No. Est-ce que c'est 8? Non. Est-ce que c'est 4? Non. Est-ce que c'est 6? Non. And then they'll say, est-ce que c'est 5? Oui, parce que c'est le seul nombre entre 4 et 6. That's how you play that game. I love it. They love it. Everybody loves it. Chanter sur l'air de Frère Jacques. Où est Catherine? Où est Catherine? Je suis ici. Je suis ici. Comment ça va? Comment ça va? Ça va bien. Ça va mal. Ça va comme ci, comme ça. And you can talk about it later if you'd like. It's a good way to check in with them. And then Friday, another topic of discussion. Do you think you sleep more in the summer or during the school year, and why? And then one of my favorite activities is doing a drawing and having the kids present their drawings. Pretty simple, but we have a pretty big line book, and in every week we have stuff like that we do right during the morning meetings. And usually what I do is we have a little snack afterwards, so the kids that take a little bit longer can take some time, and that way we can listen to all the presentations and the kids are munching on their little snacks. So in the extra slides we have calendrier, September 2024, 2025, 2026, and 2027. There's a blank one as well. Then we have extra salutation. There's 3 extra ones. Oh no, sorry, there's 5 extra ones here. Salutation silencieuse is one of my favorite ones. So you teach them how to say hello without speaking. So you can nod your head, you can do thumbs up, you can do a high five, or you can wave like this, or you can just smile. And you can talk about ways to say hello, and talk about how when someone says hello, you say hello back, but you don't always have to say hello. You can sometimes say it silently. The knock knock salutation is you pick a student. So if you pick Catherine, I say, because I'm Catherine, toc toc. And then everyone says, qui est là? And then I say, Catherine. And they say, Catherine qui? And then I say, Catherine Dumouchel. And then everybody says, bonjour, Catherine Dumouchel. And if they don't know their full name, you can help them out. So it's a great way for them to learn their full names. This one, say hello to your friend. You're jumping around like a frog and you're making a frog noise. What's it called? Croaking? Quack. Station d'imagination is one of the news slides that I'm going to be putting in every month. There will be one for every month at least. And for this month, I'm only going to put one because it'll be the month where I teach them how it works. And how it works is you get 5 minutes to draw something creative and original. And you have to use this shape. So I put this one first because I think it's the best one to use first. And that's because most of the kids thought of Pac-Man, which is not a bad idea, but because most of the kids thought of Pac-Man, it was a great way to explain that Pac-Man is not necessarily an original or creative idea if everybody's thinking of it. So when they present, you can present a bunch of Pac-Mans. You're like, Pac-Man, Pac-Man, Pac-Man. And then there's a different one. You're like, ooh, this one's different. How creative. And it might be a fish. So somebody added some fins and an eye and teeth, and could be a shark even. There was one this year that was turned into a video game controller. There was another one that looked like a pizza. There was another one that looked like a slice of pie, or a pie with some pie missing. Those are the creative and original ideas. So you're trying to think of something that nobody else in the classroom has thought of. And there's nothing wrong with thinking of the same thing of somebody else, but the idea is that you're trying to think of something really different from everyone. Okay, and so we've got a lot of activities. Rire aux éclats is a great way to teach them a little bit of self-regulation. So in this game, you sit in a circle and you throw a ball up in the air, and when the ball hits the floor, they have to stop doing something. So it could be that you say, when I throw the ball up in the air, everybody has to clap, and when the ball hits the ground, you stop clapping. Or I throw the ball up in the air and everyone has to laugh, and when it hits the floor, everybody has to stop. So it's just and they loved that game this year so much, and they asked me to play it so many times. So that's a great way to teach them how to stop and self-regulate. Most of these are pretty self-explanatory. Then we have C'est l'automne, chanté sur l'air de Frère Jacques. C'est l'automne, les feuilles tombent, rouge, orange et jaune, rouge, orange et jaune. C'est joli, c'est joli. And I also have one of my favorite songs, L'arbre dans ses feuilles. And I do actions with each one. And if you want to know what they are, put a comment in this video and I'll definitely make a little video about that for you. And then there are some mindfulness movement type activities. Pretty self-explanatory. I also have some activities with Madame Mindset videos attached. So lots of ideas. We have another Moustache with the letters of the alphabet. You can change the letters if you like, and you can change the font. We have extra nombre, mystère slides that go all the way up to 101. And then we have pensée partage. So we have ideas with apple stuff, because people often go apple picking in September or in the fall anyhow. We have social emotional stuff about recess, telling about their routines. It's kind of social studies type based, where you're talking about your responsibilities and your roles at home, what you'd like to learn this year, what you can do, the best rule in the class, what did you like the best about last year. We have other mindfulness stuff like your favorite sounds of autumn. Why is it important to understand rules? What kind of qualities do you look for in a friend? What do you do if people are beating each other up at recess? This was a couple of ones that I had added because of the social studies curriculum. So I thought maybe the kids in grade 1 seem to do the best when you've had a lot of discussions about things. So we wanted to add more of those type things for the morning meetings. And I thought maybe even adding some sort of resource where there's just questions that are answering curriculum expectations in social studies and science, because those discussions are so very helpful. I wanted to start off easy in September because there's an awful lot of stuff here, but there will be a couple more added every month, like in October, November, December. And other things we wanted to add, this is a new game that I thought would be important. It's called On the Number Line. So you have to place the numbers here on the number line. There's no lines here on purpose. So you could erase some of these if there's too many numbers. So for example, 5. I would put 5 in the middle because 5 is halfway between 0 and 10. I would put 2 closer to the 0 because 2 is closer to 0, but I would leave a space because then there's enough space for the number 1 to go here. It's just discussions that you could have about number sense. And I would put the 8 closer to the 10 because 8 is greater than 5, but smaller than 10. And then I would put the 7 right next to the 8 and the 4 right next to the 5, but on the left because 4 is between 0 and 5, not between 5 and 10. So these are just, you can change these numbers too. It's up to you how you want to do it. I would probably, after that type of discussion, like what I'm saying about discussions is that you notice what the kids know and what they need to know and what they're curious about, so you could change it up based on their needs. And then we've also decided to add ways of counting by 2s, by 5, and by 10 because that's in the math curriculum. It's also a way that you could introduce adding multiples and multiplying, or just have some sort of a number talk where you are talking about problem-solving situations. So that's the reason why I wrote it as a problem-solving. So, s'il y a 4 tables et que chaque table a 2 élèves, combien y a-t-il d'élèves en tout? They might count by 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or they might say, oh, there's 4 here and 4 here, 4 and 4 is 8. Or they might say 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. Or they might count 2, 4, 6, 8. Every way is great. Every way is okay. And what I would do is on the board beside, I would draw out what they're saying and show them how to write it down in math. So we have by 5 and by 10. It's okay if you don't use them. They're just there, just in case. And so also I had another variation. So at the top I had nomme des mots qui commencent avec la lettre, but we also have nomme des mots qui ont le son. If you want me to change this or just take this out, actually, if you want to make your own, at the bottom there is a blank one there. Okay, and so now we're at the blank message du jour, the editable slides where there's blank and you can put whatever you want there. Yes, we have an empty Droite numérique. Also, there's a playlist du mois at the end of September. Those are the slides. For the past couple of years, I've been reading a lot about the brain, and one of the books that I recommend is called Teaching with the Heart in Mind by Dr. Loria Martinez Perez. This book is about teaching the development of social emotional skills. It's easy to read and there are tons of activities included in the book. She recommends starting the school day off on a positive tone, greeting your students at the door. And another thing she recommends is to check in with students during morning meetings. Creating emotional connections with your students is one of the most important things you can do at the beginning of the year. These morning meetings help build a trusting classroom where students feel safe, seen, and heard. The meetings also give you an opportunity to learn more about your students and their non-school life. It gives your students a chance to know you a little bit better and also all of their classmates. It gives you a chance to communicate your belief in their ability to learn, which is very important. It also helps your students feel safe and a sense of belonging in the classroom. Morning meetings can help reduce stress and anxiety and help them regulate their emotions in the morning if they haven't already had a chance to do so, because when students are stressed or anxious, their prefrontal cortex can't function properly. So they won't be able to pay attention, control their impulses, problem solve, or make good decisions. Another thing that you can do to help your students' brains function optimally is to get their bodies up and moving. I read a book called Move the Body and Heal the Mind by Jennifer Weiss, and she says that the health of your body has a direct impact on the health of your brain. All forms of exercise have a potential to make you feel good. You get a dopamine release when you expect pleasure and listen to music. I've created a playlist for the month in the updated morning slides. The themed activities include workouts, freeze dance games, yoga flows, all by Madame Mindset. Dr. Heiss says that her lab has proven that 5-minute exercise breaks are better than no breaks or sedentary breaks when it comes to staying on task. It's important to do the exercise before you want your students to pay attention, to focus, to problem solve, to make decisions, to ask questions. Use exercise as a tool in your teacher toolbox to help prime your students' brains for learning. I highly recommend some type of movement in the morning, especially if your school doesn't have recess before the first period of school. Teach kids that you're using exercise as a tool to grow their brains. Human bodies were meant to move. It boosts oxygenated blood into the brain and the prefrontal cortex. After exercise, your brain is as sharp as it can be, and it is prime time for learning. So there you have it. Those are my morning meetings for the month of September. If you have the old slides and you need an updated copy, don't forget that you can go to TPT and download the newest version. Having morning meetings helps me organize my day. It helps the students wake up, get talking in French, and it helps me start my day off with happiness. The kids are giggling and interacting in a positive way, and that makes me smile. I plan on updating the morning meeting slides from September 2025 to June 2026 this year. I will finish the updates by the 15th of the preceding month. So for example, the slides for the month of October will be finished on the 15th of September. Be sure to follow Madame Mindset on TPT or on YouTube here so that you can get updates. You can also join the newsletter where I send updates, or you could become a Patreon member and get a shout out on the next Madame Mindset video. And you can also get access to free resources and updates on new videos and other types of videos like this one or coffee chats, where I kind of do a journal vlog about how my month was and what I'm up to, what I'm reading, what I find interesting, and changes that I might make in my classroom for the next year or even the next month. If you like this video, click that like button. You can subscribe, click on the bell so you'll be notified when the new video is made. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, or if you'd like me to change anything in the morning meetings, and I'll make an effort to do so. Or you can even share how you like to do your morning meetings or things that you'd like to do, because I'd love to see how other people are using the meetings or even doing their own. Coming up soon, there is going to be possibly a new video about the month of October, but there will definitely be a September coffee chat. Thank you so much for watching. If nobody has told you yet today, don't forget, you are amazing and I love you. Have a good rest of your summer and good luck in September, everybody. Thanks for watching. À la prochaine.